25 days from now, we are going to win Nevada. We are going to defeat Kamala Harris. And we are going to make America great again. From the very beginning of this journey, I have been on a mission to rescue our nation from a failed and corrupt political establishment, and it is corrupt. And to give you back the country that you believe in, the country that you were born in, and the country that you deserve, and we're going to do it. In that mission, I will never quit, I will never bend, I will never break, I will never yield, not even in the face of death itself. Won't happen. As you know, I'm putting everything on the line to fight for you, and I am also only asking you for one thing. Vote. Get out and vote. Early mail-in voting is underway in Nevada right now, so return your ballot today. Vote Republican at every level. And go, and we know that you're going to vote for Trump, and we're going to make America great again. We're going to turn around our country so fast. Yesterday, it was announced that inflation surged viciously again last month, coming in at a much higher number than anticipated. Your food prices went way up, higher than expected. Your rent and housing costs went up much more than expected. Your car prices went through the roof. Yet Kamala Harris has no plan to fix it. You ever hear her? She goes, we did everything wonderfully. The place is falling apart. Then she's got ideas. I know what I'm going to do. Why didn't she do it 3.5 years ago, right? Kamala has already cost the typical family $29,000 with her horrible inflation and the cost of inflation. Yet she said this week, when asked the question, that she can't think of one thing she could do differently, right? So, you know what? Take a look at the video. We're going to talk about that. Take a look, not one thing. Take a look at this.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition. US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
The cost of homes have spiked. Home buyers need to earn 80% more than they did in 2020 to afford a house.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
So that answer that she would do nothing different is totally disqualifying. Our country is in crisis. We don't need 4 more years of gross incompetence, radicalism, and failure. We need strong leadership. We're going to change it. We're going to do such a great job. Your head's going to spin. Your head is going to spin. It's time for the people of Nevada to tell Kamala Harris. Does anybody know the name Harris? If you say Harris, everybody says, who the hell is Harris? That we've had enough. We can't take it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. So bad, the worst we've ever had. Look, he's the worst president in the history of this country. The worst. And she's the worst vice president. And she's actually worse than him, okay? We defeated him, and then now we have to defeat another one. I shouldn't have defeated him. It would have been just as easy. Think of it. I spent $150 million to beat him, and then we had the debate, and then everyone said he's out of there, so they got him out. It was a coup, you know. It was a coup. He hates Kamala more than he hates me, in my opinion, and that's a lot. And the problem is that she is actually less competent than him, and that's hard to believe, actually. With your vote in this election, we will quickly defeat inflation, and we will make America affordable again, because you have such a problem. On day one, we will unleash American energy, and I will cut your energy prices in half. 50%. I'm going to cut them. Within 12 months of taking office, we're going to cut them in half. We're going to cut them down 50. You know why? Because we have more liquid gold under our feet. I don't have to deal with other countries. All I have to do is say, let's go. We're going to have very large tax cuts for workers, and especially to help the hardworking people of Nevada. We will, listen to this one, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. No tax on tips. Think of that. No tax on overtime. That's why we're going to win, and service workers in Nevada, they love Trump, and I love you too. Take a little look at this. Everybody, take a look at this.
Tips. News reports confirm Biden and Harris have weaponized the IRS to confiscate your tip money. Harris and Biden have literally unleashed the IRS to harass workers who receive tips. And they just may be coming to your house next. Only President Trump has a plan that ends all taxes on service workers' tips. President Trump, he's on your side.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. You know, what do I know? But this has to be the tipping capital of the world. I mean, you know, in some places I say no tax on tips, so we get, you know, nice. Here, I was in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. I said, no tax on tips. The place went crazy. So you're the same thing. But also, no tax, think of it, on overtime. You do a lot of overtime, and that's a big thing. And for those of you who are seniors, now I wouldn't know about that because I'm not a senior. Michael, am I? No. I'll be a senior, what, another 10 years, 15 years? No, look, for the seniors, think of it. You've been destroyed on fixed incomes with inflation. They have destroyed you because of energy and because of the way they spent, like so stupidly on the Green New scam. But you've been destroyed, and now we have no tax on Social Security benefits for seniors. So. And we owe that to you, what they've done to this country. But, you know, I keep saying still the most important, the border. I mean, we can talk about inflation, and it's horrible. We can talk about it. But they let 21 million people in here, and many of those people, murderers, drug dealers, gang members, people from mental institutions. To me, you know, I watch, they say that the biggest thing is the economy and inflation. And the second biggest thing is the border and immigration. I sort of think it's maybe the other way around. Wait, we do a free poll. Ready? Which is bigger? Ready? I'll go border first. Border and immigration? Pretty big. Or the economy and inflation? I've been saying that. You know, in 2016, I won because of the border, and I made it so good. It was so good within 2 months, we had the best border, and that was it. And then I could never talk about it. My people said, sir, they don't want to hear it. You fixed it. But the problem is this border is 20 times worse. What they've done here is crazy. They either hate the country or something's going on. My message to every service worker in Las Vegas and Reno is this. If you vote for me, inflation will end, your taxes will be cut massively, your wages will skyrocket, your savings and pensions will soar, and your retirement will be more prosperous. You're going to be so much more prosperous. You're going to be more secure. You're going to be safer. You're going to have a much better life. Just vote for me. Let's get it over with, okay? Much better life. Much better life. Under Kamala, it will be massive inflation, massive layoffs, massive tax hikes, and massive misery and depression. Depression. Kamala Harris will kill the American dream. That's what she's doing. And for your children, they don't have a dream with these people. These people, look, she's a Marxist. A lot of people don't know what a Marxist is. So let's put it simply, she's a communist. We're not going to have a communist leading our country. She's a communist. She's also known as the taxing queen. She loves taxes. This is the first time I've ever seen, I've been doing this stuff a long time, only for a short time on this side, but I became president. But I've been doing it for a long time. On the other side, writing checks and so I can contribute to guys like Senator John Cornyn of Texas and all. But I've never seen ever, all these great politicians are over here, where somebody's campaigning on massive tax hikes. She's campaigning, we will raise your taxes. And some people, they're not the smartest people, but they can, oh, thank you very much. I've never seen it. I've always heard politicians say, we will cut your taxes. Sometimes they don't mean it, but they say it. But these people openly say that they're going to raise your taxes. Well, let's give her credit for one thing. It's probably the only thing she's honest about. She's going to raise your taxes at levels never seen before, and she's going to drive out all the jobs in the country that I created. Her plan will raise taxes for the typical American family by at least $3,000 a year. Watch this tax video. You have to watch this.
Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax bill.
Calling for a full repeal of President Trump's tax cuts.
If Kamala Harris was elected president, there are many different tax policies which could cripple the economy. But the first thing she wants to do is allow these Trump tax cuts to expire.
Even the New York Times admits that 85% of the middle class got a tax cut.
Americans will face a hike. The Tax Foundation finding that a couple with 2 kids making $165,000 a year would have to pay over $2,400 more in taxes.
And on day one, I will repeal that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to work to get rid of that tax cut. Joe and I are about to get rid of that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax cut.
Everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic. We've got to increase the corporate tax rate. Part of that is going to be about repealing that tax bill that they just passed. And also looking at estate taxes are going to have to go up. We will tax capital gains, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes.
Taxing unrealized gains just doesn't seem fair in any sense of the word.
When the value of your home goes up, you pay higher taxes even if you don't sell your home.
Your value of your home never moves the way the stock moves to say, we're going to tax what you don't have. That's a sore point, and it's a big deal. Is that something you think she firmly believes in?
I think it's part of the proposals of the campaign.
Under my plan, there will also be a carbon fee. There has to be some connection between the fee and bad behaviors, and there has to be, in that we have to monitor whether it's going to be passed on to consumers. But I'm going to tell you that should never be the reason not to actually put a fee, and in particular, a carbon fee.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up.
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up.
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So she's looking to increase your taxes, the biggest economic disaster it will be in American history. I will deliver, and I'll tell you what, we're gonna show you some things pretty soon that are going to be amazing. What we've done compared to what they've done, we've had the most successful presidency ever. They had a disaster.